Lunchtime Live, coming to you from Coyote Radio's studios on the campus of California State University, San Bernardino. Stay with us because for the next hour, you are going to hear some phenomenal music from one of San Bernardino, Riverside, or San Diego County's greatest local bands. Today, it is indeed just that. We are joined in studio by Psychedelic Milk from Hesperia. So now, without further ado, here is your host for Lunchtime Live, Jacob Justus. Jacob.
Welcome, everyone. This is our first broadcast of the year. Happy to have Psychedelic Milk here in studio. How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful.
Awesome. We got a little break in the rain, so that's always nice. Good. I want to go down the line here, kind of get comfortable, get familiar with everyone. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
My name is Chasen. I am the lead singer of Psychedelic Milk because I do not possess musical talents to play an instrument, so that's me. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Taylor. I play guitar, and yeah, basically.
My name is Brian, but everyone calls me Saudi because my last name, and actually everyone mispronounces it, but I just fail to correct them. And I play the guitar.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like Sade. I was like, oh,
Sade.
This is great. We got
I've had people, Sade, Sadu, Sade. I don't really care.
And then I'm Gary, play the drums. Love playing them.
There we go.
And I'm Russell. I play the bass and, kick it.
Very good. So you guys are all from Hesperia? You guys live in different communities up there in the high desert?
Actually, we're all from Hesperia. We're actually pretty close. That's kind of how we got together.
Very cool.
Like, I think a 3-mile radius or something.
Probably.
Oh, right on. That's got to make band practice a lot easier.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's fun.
For sure. I Googled you guys, Psychedelic Milk, and I got some interesting results. I don't know if you've ever Googled yourself, but...
all the time. Google myself nonstop.
It was a festive blend. But mostly it was related to children's chemistry experiments. I don't know. Did you guys do one of these experiments when you were younger? And you were like,
make a little short film about that.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I Googled the same thing one time, and that's why I saw a bunch of kids playing with that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't even know it was a game.
We got the name one time. Me and Taylor we were like hula-hoeing in this yard, drinking a couple beers, doing our thing, and we're just talking about random stuff, and somehow the subject of Clockwork Orange came up, and it went to that bar scene, and he's like, dude, remember in that movie where everybody's just sitting down drinking psychedelic milk? And I was like, dude, we gotta name the band that, bro. There never was a choice. There never was a choice, man.
We were like,
That's the garage, and it was happening.
Yeah, we went through some names changes and
yeah, it's kind of a running joke in the desert.
Let's leave those behind us.
Everyone in the desert is always like, "Oh, what's your band name this week?"
Yeah,
I see.
Change it constantly. Yeah.
Well, I think it worked out. It's a unique name. I didn't really see any other hits, So once you guys go big and platinum, you'll be, that name is locked in.
Yeah,
it
should be sometime next summer.
Oh yeah, shortly here.
How long you guys been playing?
Roughly a year and a half, almost 2 years together, all the same lineup.
Probably,
Cool. So you got a pretty tight set. You guys have regular venues, regular spots, regular folks that show up at the shows and stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Real good.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Very nice. Where do you concentrate your playtime? Do you up in the desert? Or you guys come down here, Riverside?
Pretty much IE, Inland Empire. We like Riverside a lot. The venues are real nice. They take care of us there.
Yeah, Riverside is a good place.
But
to do that.
generally we do play a lot up the hill, or in Victorville, actually, to be
A little
more
desert
specific.
love.
Nah, I
Give the
gotcha.
desert a little bit of love from time to time.
Yeah.
So what is the motivation for you guys? I mean, obviously you guys were all musicians probably prior to meeting and playing in the band, but I mean, what is it that now when you sit down and you powwow, what is it that really gets the juices flowing?
Well, to tell you the truth,
Local band.
we usually go in Gary's garage. Started off, maybe get, a couple
A
beers,
good guitar riff.
light the cigarettes, get a
Everybody
riff
likes to come over to
going.
my house.
Guitar riff, yeah.
There's no parentals.
So it's kind of like
so.
jam session, and
It's
then
really we hang out every night together, so it's just kind of like we're sitting around drinking, smoking. Someone grabs a guitar. Oh, hey, let's.
We got a sick riff. Man, check
For
it
sure.
out. And then
Yeah.
oh, cool. And then it just kind of builds from there.
It's either the band room or the garage.
Yeah.
We throw what we can at the wall and we see what sticks. It's pretty much what it comes down to.
when you're playing the show and everything, I mean, are you kind of honing in on the crowd's response? I mean, what do you guys, I think in order to help shape your
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
more
always some
harmonious,
reaction I'm looking for.
vibe that you get from the crowd, like their energy and our energy together. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's exciting.
Special.
It's
a
a
different
very shared
feeling.
experience.
For sure. Well, we're going to hear a song now. This first track is called Left is Always Right.
Cool. Cheers.
All right. Well, that's definitely the speed that we were looking for. I think that, again, as we were kind of talking during the song there, who is your audience? Do you have an audience, or are you just playing to play? You're playing for yourselves?
For the most part, anybody that I would like to think that likes listening to rock and roll. We tend to play with like a lot of slower, I hate to use the word indie, but kind of like more indie bands than we are. And so we tend to get like a lot of that crowd at each of our shows,
Yeah, for sure.
There's not really a genre for like our type of music right now. Like it's more that old school or kind of like easy to listen to, like 70s rock and roll like kind of vibe.
Yeah. We get a nice wide range though, you know, between young,
bikers.
older, everybody just
bikers. We want to play with bikers.
I don't know what it is.
Rock and roll, you know,
they're
people
really into it.
people like really coming and just seeing rock and roll. It doesn't matter what age you are, just go there to the bar and just rock out. That's pretty much what people. That's our fan base, really.
Well, for sure. I was like, after hearing the music, I half expected someone to walk in, with the black, leather Lizard King pants on, Jim Morrison at the doors and everything.
It means a lot to us, Justus. Hear you say that.
So, but yeah, so the tracks that we're hearing today, I mean, obviously you're playing those at shows, but do you ad-lib songs? Do you take audience requests? I mean, what's the sort of flow there?
The structure of our songs is like any solo. There's no like definite like 4 bars or this long. It's really like if the crowd's feeling it, like we'll solo.
Keep
for
jamming
2
on
minutes.
it.
Right, yeah. We kind of feed off each other's cues a lot too, because
No
it's more
doubt.
of like kind of that jazz like setup, like all like freestyle. The solos aren't written or anything like that.
So, do you guys, when you play shows, I'm assuming you typically don't play as a solo act. I know that we talked about the venue in Riverside. What was it again?
Lake Alice.
Lake Alice, sure. Lots of people in the area know that
Alice.
joint, and so. When you play there, I think usually it's a solo band, act. But who do you guys typically play with? I mean, you said indie bands, but
We have our friends band. They're called Motel Monster. They're a 2-piece. They kill it. They kill it hard. We play with
another band, Tango Kilo. They get us a lot of gigs in Riverside. That's kind of our connection in Riverside.
Big,
area.
and then also Lilies.
The Lilies.
Shout out to the Lilies.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the Lilies.
Phantom Mother.
Play a
Phantom
lot of
Mother,
shows.
Modern Mariachis.
Yeah.
It's more
There's a
local
bunch of high desert
bands,
bands that it's a hard place to come out of the desert. The music scene's not really great out there.
There's probably 5 bands up there, and we're all really tight together in our, I guess, genre, if you'd like to call it that. But we're all really cool with each other. We hang out, party, and do stuff like that, other than just play shows. So
I kind of heard, Lacey had bumped into Saudi on campus and had talked to him here, and you guys actually have a formal organization on campus now, the Underground Music Society.
Yeah.
So I understand some of the other bands that we might be discussing, some of those folks maybe go here or in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
So talking about venues, what are like the coolest venues that you guys have got to play?
Angels Roadhouse, man. That's our local roadhouse,
Angels Roadhouse
like
2,
bar.
I know
Apple
the
Valley.
Yeah.
That is the place.
And they take such good care of us.
They treat us right.
Yeah.
Bar
Yeah.
tab's always good. Bar tab's
Right.
always fat. So.
Yeah,
Can't
seriously,
complain.
they give us
they're
humongous bar
rad there,
tabs
man.
there.
So do you even have to ask how you prepare for shows, or?
If I need to
You need to know.
Well, when it comes
we're pretty loose when before we
as close as like if we're talking about right before we start actually playing, like what we'll generally do is we'll go into like the back,
It's like a ritual.
get a little. This is our ritual. We'll order like a round of shots of tequila, preferably.
Besides me, Gary does not drink.
Gary doesn't drink. Put that on the record. But we'll get like a round of shots. We'll all take them. We'll huddle up, kind of like football style, and then like we always sing the same song, which it's classified. What that song may be. That's our stuff. That's our stuff. But,
Very cool. Very cool.
Got to get it psyched up, and then we'll just go out there and do what we can.
We're going to take a quick break, hear some words from the sponsors, and we'll be back with more from Psychedelic Milk.
You're tuned in to Lunchtime Live, coming to you from the campus of California State University, San Bernardino. Today we are joined in studio by the band Psychedelic Milk from Hesperia. So without further ado, here again is your host, Jacob Justus.
Thanks again, Lacey, as always. And before we left there for a few delicious words from our sponsors, we were talking a little bit more about the creative juices again, kind of how you guys make it all come together, how the magic happens. And I know that one of the things that I had started thinking about was, how is it that you've evolved since you started playing? I mean, obviously, I doubt that you guys all met each other at the same time. It was sort of, add a guy here, you heard about somebody there. Tell us a little bit about that process and what it took to get the ball rolling.
Surprisingly enough, it's kind of almost the opposite. Like, we started out as friends. Me and Taylor were doing like a little bit of acoustic stuff, and then Brian and Russ were...
Jason moved in with me in my house.
It was really, we just,
pretty much
like,
went
Gary
together.
was
Kind of
the
like
anchor.
the right place, right time kind of thing, you know? They had actually just gotten out of another band that they were in, and then we were kind of doing our own thing, and then it just kind of happened at the right time.
Hey,
We
let's
all
start a band.
Yeah,
Right,
it just
that's
kind of
right.
turned into something really, you know?
So started writing stuff, and it felt natural.
Yeah, it felt
felt
really-
natural, and I don't know. Me and Russell are brothers, so it's just like one of those things where we felt natural together
Connection's always
playing.
there.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength, and then with the friends, it's just every day it accumulates to be more and more easier to.
Buddies.
It becomes, it evolves. It's starting to definitely evolve. But when we first started, I'd have to say our style was, we were getting a lot of different genres, people, bands thrown our way,
Right.
And that's cool and all, I love the inspirations. I love those bands as well. But I think from a year and a half, 2 years almost now, whatever, from when we first started, we've definitely have found the Psychedelic Milk style.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I mean?
progressed together a lot in those 2 years, like as became tighter as a band, like musically, So I think that helped a lot too, because we hang out a lot. So.
And not to get all soft, but as friends,
I love you, man.
The bond has just gotten easier. It's gotten easier to associate with each other, talk to each other about things, and not be so timid as
instead
to,
of like on a
tell each other
professional
stuff.
approach, we're like more friends. So
Right,
it's more
right.
open to
When you're, in the car, you got your Walkman with you, bring it back to old school. What do you guys throw on? What do you listen to individually?
It mostly depends on the day. You ask me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm constantly, I think I could speak for all of us when I say, like, we're constantly always influenced by something else, you know what I mean? Like, today, if we're going to be completely honest, like, I'm digging David Bowie, Brian Jonestown Massacre, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, but at the same time, tomorrow I could wake up, want to hear some Celine Dion, some Patti LaBelle. Like, it's really nothing like set in stone as far as what we listen to on a daily basis.
I can tell Taylor's a big fan of Beyonce. He's just got it written all
Yeah.
over.
You have no
So I
idea.
just-
Hey, Brian's on that
Taylor,
Britney Spears,
he's all
though.
about it.
Honestly,
Actually, I do. That
Dude,
song,
she is kind of a
Toxic.
guilty pleasure, man.
Right?
Like, she's so
I can't lie, Britney Spears. She makes some good.
What
some
plays
good.
when
I
Brian
know.
calls your phone? What
Yeah,
plays?
actually, it's toxic.
I love it.
She honestly
It's a
likes
good
the
song, man.
So.
That sick little surf riff in there, like
Guilty pleasure.
it's a
Right.
banger.
That's-
And if you've
Well.
ever been in the club, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a song
In the club that hits.
it does.
Yeah,
That's what
but-
we say.
You don't
I
want to
think
see
that's
these
the
hips.
most-
You don't want to see.
You don't want to see these hips move. Up in the club.
Sure.
I'd say I'm the more different one for music, though. As far as these guys, the four of them tend to listen to a lot of the. I mean, they listen to different stuff all individually, but they listen to a lot of the same stuff as me. I play rock and roll, but I'm listening to Mastodon 1 minute and then listen to something rap the next. I mean, it's for me, it's just. It's kind of weird. I don't really actually listen to much of the music that I play, but I just feel it when I'm there doing it. So
It can't be terrible if it came out in the 90s, really.
yeah.
Yeah. We're big fans of like
Marcy's
90s.
Playground.
Yeah, Marcy's Playground.
We'll take another quick break, but we'll be right back with more from Psychedelic Milk.
Been thinking I'm way too young to die. I leave my favorite boots to you. And all those drawings that I drew. 'Cause there's
before we left, I know Gary was kind of talking about, between going between, different styles of music and everything like that to get amped or to just, in general, to just listen to and hang out. And I think that's always good. I don't really understand these people that paint themselves into a corner, with this is the genre of music that I most like. And that never really made sense to me. If it's good music, it's quality music, whether it's the vocals that you appreciate, the lyrics that you appreciate, or the just the overall sound of the music as it comes together. Those are the things that are most important. And it seems like you guys have an emphasis on that. I'm kind of interested to hear, Russ, your opinion on that. You haven't really said a lot here, so I kind of, what are you into, man?
Yeah, I don't really talk to you incredibly much. I mean, really, it's kind of a wide variety. Like I said, I listen to a lot of 90s. I find myself listening, it's kind of I don't know, man. It's so different. It can just really, it does depend on the day. Is it cloudy? Is it sunny? Did I have a good dream the night before? Is it a bad dream? So, it's kind of my perspective on the day, really. I mean, I kind of give myself theme songs for the day in a way, It's like, But, I mean, it can...
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can wake up, maybe a Queens of the Stone Age day. Those are always fun. Those are always fast-paced.
Yeah.
But, or a 13 and God kind of day where I'm just chilling. So, I mean...
For sure.
I don't know. I'm inspired by everything,
For
everyone,
sure.
everything.
One question that I typically ask a lot of different groups, because I think it's an important part of just being, a human being, and kind of giving back, is you guys ever play at any like community centers up in Hesperia or around here, or do any kind of charitable events and things like that?
Yeah, we actually, I think sometime last year around this time in October, we played a little music kind of festival thing for, I think it was Lyme disease.
Yeah, it was Lyme disease.
We did it for Lyme
all
disease.
The proceeds went to Lyme disease.
Yeah,
Very
everything
cool.
from the entire festival. It was a harvest festival, kind of like pumpkin patch, all
It's like
kinds
a
of stuff
month
like
long.
that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
It's like a month-long festival thing that they do, and we played there for that.
Where was
And
that at?
It was actually in Hesperia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really
It's
cool.
actually pretty cool.
It was
Yeah, in
really
fact,
cool.
the lady
Yeah.
that we raised the money for, or that everybody, for the Lyme disease, newspaper just came out the other day, and it said that cure and treatment and everything. So she's back.
Excellent.
They pretty much told her she was done.
Yeah,
And then they were kind of brought her back. So I mean, to play for the charities and hear about stuff like that, a year later,
That's
you didn't really
fantastic,
think
yeah.
about it until you hear it a year later. You're like, wow, we played, there, and we helped raise money for that place, and that lady's living, and she's good. That's
Inspiring.
it's inspiring.
feeling.
It really is. It
Right
makes you
on.
wake up and kind of just put on a little more of a smile for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. You got to default to that, when you feel like you're having a crummy day.
Right.
Like, the cliche is it could always be worse, right? But it really could be worse.
Yeah, it really
Definitely.
can.
Definitely.
Might not be the best day for me, but if it's better for somebody else, then I'm happy.
They're putting on that festival actually again this month, and they're doing it for like
orphans
children
overseas.
without homes
Yeah.
overseas is what they're doing it again this year. I'm not sure if we're going to play it, but we're definitely going to be a part in the
support it.
festival,
Support it there.
trying to
sure.
work there, help, do what we can. So
Working there, raise money.
And this will be up in
Hesperia.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I didn't know they did. I didn't know they did that up there. So
Yeah.
it sounds,
Last year was the first year. This year will be the second year
Yeah.
of them doing this harvest festival.
Right on.
It went good though last year.
Yeah,
They
last
really had a good turnout. And
Yeah.
raised a lot of money.
Super fun. So if anybody gets a chance, it is in Hesperia. I don't know why you would be, but if you were, check it out.
I love the desert, man.
Desirable place
But,
to
yeah.
go. Yeah.
back in the day, there was this band. Every time they played, they would like destroy their entire set. I forget the name of the band now, but you got to think that would be pretty tough to keep that going unless you were like
The
a major.
Who did it with
Yeah,
guitars,
that's
and the
the-
Violent Femmes did it with all of their
Yeah, they just completely
Yeah.
wrecked like every bit of equipment.
That's rock and
There's
roll
something
for you.
really
That's rock and roll right
That's
there.
super rock.
something really liberating, about smashing a guitar.
Yeah, Brian does
And
that
it's-
quite often.
It's not even that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put on a show for these kids. It's just like something about
The moment, man.
the moment and just like the energy and just like a rejection of like this material.
That you've been playing on.
Yeah, it's like it like almost reminds me like the instrument is just like an extension of myself and not to get too wrapped up in it. So there's like something really liberating about just smashing a guitar.
Where can people generally go online to find your music, or where can they hear you
You
at?
could just go to Facebook.
Facebook, SoundCloud. We have a SoundCloud account, and then Facebook.
So just keyword search, you guys.
Yeah, type in psychedelic milk and see what
not too many. Right.
Yeah, Google, you'll just find that, like you said, the kids
or you
with
can
the milk
Google
and the
it.
nuts.
Right.
I'd say just go to Facebook. Type.
Did you guys have I think you had a Reverb Nation site.
Yeah, we actually do have a
Reverb Nation site as well.
Yeah, I love that site. So
Yeah.
definitely a good resource there.
Yeah, you can always go to Reverb Nation and type in psychedelic milk as well. We're on there. So
right on. And SoundCloud, I really haven't messed with them too much, but I understand that they're growing. It's a growing entity. So
it's really nice for quality wise.
Yeah, the fidelity is a lot better.
Exactly.
We were talking a little bit earlier just about the this sort of impact that you guys might have on an audience, and that's kind of what I always want people to leave with as far as our audience and everything, is that what impact was made. And so I think you guys definitely come across well musically and everything. We're going to hear probably another track or two before we wrap it up today. And I think now actually would be the time. We're going to hear a song. This is called Saint Wolfgang. That one is called Saint Wolfgang. You know, it's kind of reminiscent. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but just the other day we were talking, and how did it go, Lacey? Apparently Elton John used to rent the castle.
No, it went like this. I was reading that book. Does a Noise in My Head Bother You? That Steven Tyler wrote. And he said, every once in a while, a band has to go someplace that is totally inspirational to write some music to get them over a hump. And he said Elton John rented Mozart's castle. Wow. Okay, at like $500,000 for a week, and he wrote Honky Chateau on Mozart's piano.
How rad is that? Right?
While he was there.
You guys got some spare change? We could maybe try to get it.
Right. Inspiration. You know what I mean? If only.
I want to go to Lester Crowley's house, man. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, let me ask you, do you guys, you said you're kind of dialing in maybe an EP now, but do you have any future recording plans, collaborations you want to tell us about?
The whole month of November, we're going to try to write a whole new set of songs, and then we're going to see how those
Release
go.
an EP probably in November.
And then we record all our own stuff, so it's really like
DIY.
We have a nice transition from like passion onto the record because there's no scheduling time, getting funds together. It's just like it's passionate, it's ready, it gets recorded.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's got a box of wine.
Maybe an occasional box of wine.
You know, classy for the ladies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Won't hurt.
The ladies know our class.
Right.
Yeah,
We're in rock and
I thought it was
roll.
guaranteed babes. You know, guaranteed
It's
babes.
absolutely.
Well, we're going to get one more in here, one more song. This last track is called Black Fog, and you're hearing it. This is Psychedelic Milk here on Coyote Radio. Sweet track. I kind of like the chanting thing. Is it's cool. It's different. It definitely is different.
Thank you.
You guys get high fives for sure all around. You know,
Very good.
I just want to say thanks to you guys. You know, for coming in today and blessing us with your presence and our listenership.
Anytime.
And you have been listening to Lunchtime Live, coming to you from the campus of California State University, San Bernardino, and the studios of Coyote Radio. Thanks again to our in-studio guests today, Psychedelic Milk from Hesperia. Upcoming artists you'll want to be listening for on Lunchtime Live include 100 Proof. Remember to support the musical artists in your neighborhood. For the Academic Computing and Media Department of Cal State San Bernardino, as well as the entire staff of Coyote Radio, I'm Lacey Kendall. You have a great week.
Sometimes when my insufficient funds in my memory.